Ladies and gentlemen of my YouTube, it's your boy SY Walker. We are back. It's not like I ain't forget. I'm about to unbox the Razer Leviathan V1 in a second, but I just wanted to show y'all another haul I got off of Amazon today. I bought a lot of shit off of Amazon this week because now my Thermaltake, my original AIO, it didn't break. It's not broken, it still works, but I'm thinking since I got a 5950X, and that's like the highest AM4, that's like the highest AM4 processor you could get. My joint was, I sometimes it would idle like around in the high 50s, and I wasn't liking that. Like, I don't think it should be that high idling. So hopefully I'm gonna use the, I ain't want to, like, I was trying to sell it on eBay, but you know, Fleabay is kind of tripping right now. So I'm going to sell it to a potential client. I'm gonna use it to upgrade his build. So I ended up getting me this. This is my first 360mm AIO. It is the Thermalright Frozen Naughty 360 black ARGB. I like the little. I had to buy it simply because of that. It was, I had two choices. It was between this one and the 360mm version of the one I got for my other client, for my coworker who bought that super crazy 5700 build off of me. Now, let me put y'all on the game. These AIOs, these Thermalright AIOs, they are unbelievably priced. Like, you would think I paid something anywhere between 130 or like 150 for something like this. I paid, after shipping, well, shipping is free because I got Prime, but after I paid tax, I paid 72 bucks for this. So if you're out there on the internet land and you go on Amazon, look up this brand called Thermalright. I bought a 360mm AIO for $72 after tax. So on the Amazon price, it was like it was 67 bucks. This one is the Frozen Naughty is like 67 bucks. The one that got the cube, I forgot the name of the cube one, but the cube 360mm one is freaking 65 bucks. And the 240mm ones, like the 240mm variants of the Thermalrights, them joints are under 60 bucks, and they work good. The performance, you would think something so cheap, oh, it's gonna be trash. No, like, before I gave the PC, before I like sold the PC that I built to my coworker, he'll come to work. He was telling me, he was like, yo, Adam, the temps on that thing is unbelievable. Like, it doesn't get hot. It is. I'm like, yo, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I'm shocked I was able to get an AIO for that low. That works that good. So, ladies and gentlemen, Thermalright. If you're trying to get your Thermalright, cop the Thermalright. That's just the only advice I could give you. All right. And for my Optiplex 3020 ballers, y'all should know what these are already. So when you as I said in the previous video, when you're getting ready to upgrade the power supply in your Optiplex MT, you're going to need this. This is the cable to convert it from the regular 24-pin power supply thing to the 8-pin thing on the Dell motherboard. You're going to need this, and you're going to need one of these when you're changing the CPU cooler. I never use, you could get away with using the Dell stock cooler, but I don't like the Dell stock cooler. I just get the Thermaltake Gravity the Thermaltake Gravity i2. So I always use that. So you're gonna need one of these to convert the pin. It's gonna go from the 4-pin to the 5-pin connector. Make sure now for the older Optiplexes, for like the 790, it's a 4-pin. But I think for like the 3020 and up, it's gonna be a it's a 5-pin. So you want this one. I got this over Amazon for like $6. And as I said before, as I told y'all cats before, I never go I don't like the Dell stock one. You could use it, but I always use this for these Optiplex builds. The Thermaltake Gravity i2. This is what I'm using for that. So like, you're not even, since it's an older build, you're not even gonna need this back plate. You're not gonna need that. So I always go with these when I do my Optiplex upgrades. This is the last Optiplex upgrade I'm gonna do for quite a while. I'm building an emulation one that I'm selling on my Facebook Marketplace for $350. It's reasonable. It's beyond reasonably priced. I don't know how come I couldn't say that word properly. It's gonna be extremely value oriented. And everything is the front end is gonna be using damn, what's that shit called? I'm gonna be using Launchbox as the front end, and I'm gonna configure everything to the point where whoever the buyer is, you could just plug in your controller and play. That's the level I'm gonna configure it to. That price ain't gonna drop. I'm not lowering it to anything. I'm not lowering it at all, because if you let these cats on this internet lowball you, they will. So I'm not lowering the price at all. So if you're a brokey, just don't even inquire about it. Like don't waste our time. Like, because you ain't wasting my time. You just wasting your time. So don't waste our. In the words of Miguel in the song "How Many Drinks" featuring Kendrick Lamar, don't waste our time. Just keep it moving, and hopefully I get a promising prospect of someone who's gonna actually buy it and ask the questions you should ask, like, yo, like, am I getting my money's worth? What all can I do with it? What are the specs? Stuff, questions of that nature and likelihood. All right. So it's gonna be an emulation build. I'm gonna push it all the way up to at least I think PlayStation 2. I might throw a couple of Dreamcast classics in there. I'll throw in there, but I'm gonna throw some games, since I'm adding a 500 gig mechanical. I'm gonna put some PS2 and some GameCube in there. I'm gonna put some good compatible titles, and because the GPU I'm using a GT 730. So with the GT 730 and the ever so wonderful i7 4790, I'll be able to go up to GameCube with emulation, or up to GameCube emulation with that build. It's going to be really good too. What I'm about to say? Oh, I learned something new for all my 4750, for all of my Optiplex 3020 ballers. You can use a 4790K. It will work. Just the pre-adequate before you do that. Make sure you update the BIOS to A20. Once your BIOS is updated to A20, you should be able to use a 4790K. Because I seen a guy in the Dell forums, he asked that question, and he went and pulled the trigger, and he showed, like, he put a picture in the forum. You can use a 4790K on an Optiplex 3020. That's overkill. Like a 4790K and like Optiplex, that's overkill. I would recommend that if you're rocking like the I would say rock that. I would rock that if you're rocking the highest version of the the highest version of the 3020. I think it's the 990 or something like that. Like, because the 3020 is the entry level. It's like they're in a series. So the 3020 is the entry level of that series. It's the 3020, and it's two. I think it's the third. I know for a fact it's the 3020. I think the 770. It's two more MT towers in that series. I know the numbers might be wrong, but I know the highest one is like a 9 something, I think it's the 990, and the tower and the case is significantly bigger than the 3020. It has 4 RAM slots, and it uses the same processor generation. It uses like the same processors. So that's the highest one. Now that one, that like that case has more space too. So in that case, you could fit like a significantly bigger card, not like nothing ultra chunky, but you could fit like a 1070 in there. You could fit like a 1070, and if you're going with the 4790K in that build, in the highest version of the 3020, if you're going with a 4790K, you could definitely get away with using like a 1078 gig. Hell, you might can even use a 3050. You know, like you probably could even use one of those ITX 3050s, like the one I just got for my nephew a couple of weeks ago. You could probably use one of those and not get a bottleneck and still be Gucci. So who knows? But anyway, that computer is going to be up it's going to be up and running and ready to go in a couple of days. Everything is going to be configured for you. You're not going to have to do anything. Just plug it in. Oh, and also you'll be able to use it for your TV. It's an emulation build. So a lot of people who buy stuff for emulation and stuff, they're like parents and shit, and they just want to like hook the shit up to the TV and play it, and boom, that's how plug and play friendly I'm going to configure that thing. But yeah, anyway, this is my go-to CPU cooler for those Optiplex builds. I don't know why. You could go with the ones. You could go with the little like the static RGB joints, but I think it's just pointless because like you're not gonna see it. You're not gonna see it through that case. So it's just pointless. So right here, yeah, the Thermaltake Gravity i2 CPU cooler is my go-to for these Optiplex builds. You don't have to use the back plate. You know, you don't need this shit. You could just put it right on, call it a day, and you get amazing temps. You can I think when you go into the Dell settings and then you put turbo, you have turbo mode on. I think it's on by default. So and it'll only activate when an app needs those extra resources. So you're Gucci. So yeah. So Launchbox gonna be the front end. This is a CPU cooler I go to. It's $11 on Amazon, and you get it fast. So if you got Prime, you already know how legendary Prime shipping is. All right, folks. So I'm about to move on to the unboxing in a few. Let me drink some more drink and take this stuff out the box. I'll be back.